Welcome to Football with Cheese. So in this video, I'm going to do a prospect breakdown of Fernando Mendoza, quarterback Indiana. He's going to be the first pick in the NFL draft to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's pretty much a given at this point, and it'll probably be a lot like Cam Ward last year, who was the first overall pick of the Titans. We knew he was going to be the first pick. It was set in stone, and because of that, Cam Ward just wasn't talked about much. They talked about Shedeur Sanders way more. In fact, Shedeur Sanders was the most talked about prospect I've ever seen in my entire life. I got so tired of it. He ends up falling to the 5th round. But because Cam Ward was going number 1, people hardly talked about him at all. And that's what's going to happen to Fernando Mendoza. Believe it or not, Ty Simpson, where he goes, whether he sneaks in the 1st round, 2nd, or even 3rd round, who knows, will be talked about much more than Fernando Mendoza, but not as much as Shedeur Sanders, of course. So who is Fernando Mendoza? He was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, the 72nd ranked quarterback. Whoops. He's from Miami, Florida. He grew up not far from the stadium where University of Miami plays. More on that in a second. His mom went to college there. She played tennis for Miami, but they only offered him a walk-on position because he was, I guess, a 3-star recruit. So he ends up at Cal. He redshirts there, then has 2 decent seasons, maybe not great. Didn't have a ton of production. It could have been the talent around him. But after his junior year, or redshirt sophomore year, he transfers to Indiana. And before the season, I obviously look at consensus rankings. I looked at some draft analysts. And the highest I saw, Mendoza was 7th in the quarterback class. Now, Arch Manning and Lenore Sellers were ahead of him, and they came back to school. So if you take those away, I guess he would have been 5th. So he was known in the scouting community. He just wasn't the consensus number 1 quarterback, not even close. And I did see him on a couple of sleeper lists. You know, you put your sleepers for the draft, basically guys that can move up in the 1st round that's projected maybe he'd be a mid or late round pick. So some draft analysts were in on him, you know, before the season started. He obviously, like I said, transferred to Indiana, where he had, you know, a lot more help. He had Omar Cooper Jr., Elijah Surratt at wide receiver, Kalen Black at running back. Very good group. And obviously it goes amazing. 16-0, national championship. He wins the Heisman Trophy. What he did to Alabama and Oregon, 2 playoff teams, 2 teams with good defenses, was incredible. 8 touchdowns, 0 picks in those blowout wins. And the first time I saw Mendoza in an Indiana uniform was against Illinois. I was looking forward to this game. It was supposed to be really close. Both teams were top 20 teams. Actually, Illinois was ranked 9th at the time. And Luke Altmaier was a quarterback for Illinois. Both quarterbacks were probably ranked in the 6 to 8 range for the 2026 draft. So I'm thinking, okay, 2 quarterbacks that I need to watch as a draft analyst. And it was an absolute slaughter. Fernando Mendoza was incredible in that game, near perfect. Indiana beat Illinois 63-10. It was supposed to be a very close game. There were people picking Illinois to win. Mendoza's stat line, 21 of 23, 267 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Insane. And that's when I knew this guy, he's at least really good and maybe special. Now, Illinois should not have been in the top 10. They were a little overrated, but they were still a good team. They finished 9-4. And Indiana beat them 63-10. They slaughtered Oregon. They slaughtered Alabama. They slaughtered Illinois. 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in those games. And then he gets in the national championship game, makes some key throws down the stretch. Much closer than people expected. And Indiana is able to beat Miami, the team that could have recruited him and only offered a walk-on. Just really incredible story. So the prospect, Fernando Mendoza, what does he do well? Well, quite a few things. He has a high football IQ. He's great at reading the defense pre-snap. In RPOs, run-pass options, he almost always makes the correct call. He throws the ball on time and is extremely accurate. Some of his ball placement is just perfect, like right on their hands, right where it needs to be. He is extremely accurate in the pocket, probably the best in the country at that, and one of the best throwing on the run. Maybe not the best, but still very good thrower on the run. He is cool, calm, poised in the pocket. Nothing ever seems to rattle this dude. Pretty incredible. He is also not afraid to stay in the pocket and wait till the last second to make the throw, take the hit, or even the sack. Sometimes you just have to take a sack. If a blitz isn't picked up, it's much better than throwing interception, especially with Indiana's defense. Punt the ball, live to fight another day, and he's just very good at waiting till the last second before he throws it. He's just extremely tough. He made some insane throws under pressure this year, and you just don't see a lot of NFL quarterbacks make those kind of plays under pressure. And he can do that, especially this past year. He has great pocket awareness. He's got a really good feel when it's time to leave the pocket and when not to. He's got a good arm. It's not great, but it's still good enough. It's not Josh Allen, Jordan Love, but he should be able to make just about every throw on the field. Despite not having a lead arm, he still was very good on deep throws in college. He rarely turns the ball over. He's got great size. He's 6'5". He's incredible with interviews. I think someone nicknamed him ChatGPT because he always gives the perfect answer. It's like his brain processes so fast, he's able to just say the right thing. He might be better at interviews than Peyton Manning. I can't believe we'd ever come across someone better at interviewing than Peyton Manning, but I think Mendoza might be. And this dude's a football junkie. He loves the sport and he loves to compete. You cannot coach that. Just really fun dude. Every team wants a person, not just a player, but a person like Fernando Mendoza in their locker room. He's athletic enough. Some people may say, well, he's not super athletic. They're nitpicking. Yeah, he's not Josh Allen or Justin Herbert scrambling, but he's athletic enough. He moves better than Jared Goff or Matt Stafford, people like that. And Stafford just won the MVP, so he'll move well enough in the NFL. Extremely clutch. Makes so many big plays in the fourth quarter in big games. The Oregon game at Oregon early this year. Obviously, the national championship game against Miami, he made the plays in the fourth quarter when he needed to. And it's not a Bo Nix, Caleb Williams clutch. People call those two guys clutch this past year. But you can't play bad for 3 quarters and then just play really good in the fourth. You have to play good in the first 3 quarters, but then just take it to the next level in the fourth to be considered clutch. And, Bo Nix and Caleb Williams had games where they really stunk in the first half or even the first 3 quarters. And then their fans are like, oh, they're clutch. It's like, no. No, they just started playing good all of a sudden. He just has so many qualities and traits that you want from your franchise quarterback. Intangibles off the charts. Now, there are a few negatives, and a lot of these I'm kind of nitpicking. You'll see throughout the draft process, some people in the media, some draft analysts will just try to find something negative. They'll point out one drive in one game just to try to find something negative about this guy. This happens a lot in draft season. When Aaron Rodgers fell, he was supposed to be the first pick or maybe top 3. When he fell to pick 24 to the Packers, all these people were trying to find reasons why, and we're just making stuff up or just being real nitpicky, which kind of annoys me. But like I said, he's a good athlete, not great. He's probably not going to scramble for a lot of yards. Indiana's offensive system called for a lot of quick hitches and slants with occasional deep ball. So a lot of short throws, which makes his completion percentage look better. I wanted to see more like 20 to 30 yard routes, especially like the 25-yard out. He's got a good arm, not great arm. You want to see if he can make that throw because not everyone in the NFL, not every starting quarterback can make that throw. Some people say he doesn't put a lot of zip on the ball. I think it's fine. Obviously, he's not going to be able to throw off his back foot 40 yards downfield on a line like Jordan Love or Justin Herbert does, but he can definitely put enough zip on the ball. That's crazy when people say that. Mendoza typically in the Indiana offense, he would make 2 reads, maybe to Cooper and Surratt. And if he didn't have it, he would check it down. In the NFL, the best quarterbacks sometimes go through 3 or 4, maybe even 5 reads, especially if a play breaks down. But I think he'll be fine at adjusting to that. He rarely looked off the defense from what I saw on film. When you watch an NFL game and the broadcaster will say, oh, he looked off the safety. Basically, you look left, and then come back and throw the right to keep the safety on the other side of the field. I just rarely saw him do that on film. I didn't watch every snap he did, but he'll have to do that in the NFL. And like I said, he fit Indiana's system perfectly. He may not fit every single system in the NFL. However, they did hire Clint Kubiak, one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL. He did it in New Orleans with Derek Carr. He did it in Seattle with Sam Darnold, and both of them are more pocket-style quarterbacks, just like Mendoza. So I think it's a great hire for the Raiders. He will, once again, design a system that fits him well. He doesn't have any great physical tool, good arm, athletic enough. So it might limit his ceiling. He might never be like a top 5 quarterback in the game, but he absolutely could be a top 10 quarterback. Now, I've seen a couple mouth breathers out there grading him as a 4th-round pick. One guy even said he's a game manager and had him the 7th best quarterback in the draft. Put Carson Beck first. I don't have a draftable grade on Carson Beck. More on that in another video. That's insane. A game manager is somebody that has a weak arm, that is just trying not to turn the ball over. He likes to hand off, occasional play action, dink and dunk it down the field. Don't make a mistake, win with defense, win close in the 4th quarter. That is not Fernando Mendoza. Not at all. So anybody saying that, just ignore them. Don't look at their breakdown. They have no idea what they're talking about. The best game manager probably in this era was Andy Dalton, but he's been a backup the whole second half of his career. That's what a game manager is. Andy Dalton was good enough to get them to the playoffs, but that's it when he was with the Bengals. Mendoza is a lot better than that, so just watch out for people saying stuff like that. 4th-round grade on Mendoza? Are you kidding me? That's insane. If he was in the 2024 draft, somebody asked me this one. Where would he go? If you did not know, there were 6 quarterbacks in the top 12. I would probably put him 4th in that draft. Caleb Williams went first, then Jaden Daniels, then Drake May. He would probably go somewhere between Drake May and Michael Penix Jr., who was the 4th quarterback taken. He was 8th overall to the Falcons, and then J.J. McCarthy went 10th to the Vikings, and Bo Nix 12th to the Broncos. He would probably go somewhere in between Drake May and Michael Penix Jr., in my opinion. So that's my breakdown of Fernando Mendoza. I'll be doing more of these, probably not as long, they'll be much quicker. Especially individual ones, will probably be 4 or 5 minutes. But I just want to make sure I was very thorough on Mendoza. Boy, that sun is brutal right now. And go through everything with you guys. So in the comments, let me know. What is your favorite thing about Fernando Mendoza? If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Share this with anyone who loves football. I cover all 32 teams on this channel. Me and Mike, we do the Lights Out podcast every Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Link in the description. We talk baseball, college football, and of course, NFL. The week of the NFL draft, me and Mike, we're going to host a mock draft. Mike will be the one hosting it basically. Myself and 3 other draft analysts will pick for 2 divisions each. It's a lot of fun. We did it last year. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit the bell so you do not miss that. Check out this video if you have not, and I'll see you in the next one.